Everybody came here.
And we had a coffee can, and we were playing marbles. And what happened, I went to reach for some marbles, and Mary had the can, and she turned it upside down, and she was gonna like grab the marbles and pull it away. And she sliced my hand so bad. And I was thinking about, went to Aunt May's house, and I had my arm, you know, I thought maybe you, because you were being a nurse, but I sat there, and I think Tommy, it stopped bleeding, they had it wrapped, and Tommy or Pat came running in, bumped my arm, blood all over. I ended up getting the stitches.
You really had a lot of fun at that house, didn't you?
In Payless, we had the two-car garage house. When we first moved in, there was no screens on the door, on the windows, no water, no electricity, and the road that we used to have to go from Roberts Road, which was probably about a block or block and a half, wasn't even a road, it was mud.
And how old were you, Mary?
I was 8.
8, okay.
Yeah. And so it took a lot of getting used to coming from the city and having electricity, having water. We used to have to do our homework by kerosene lamp. We used to have to carry 2 buckets, walk up to the corner. The guy that owned the grocery store up there used to let us use his water. We used to have to pump it, carry it back home. By the time we got home, the buckets were half full. You know, stuff, and there's stuff like that that you kids don't remember because, you know, you were too little.
You didn't have a well?
No, we didn't have a well when we
year.
first moved out there. We didn't. No.
After we got the well, we thought we were millionaires.
So that we had no bathroom, so we had.
We thought that we're rich. We have the only pump on that side of the Roberts Road.
Electricity poles down there. We had to wait for the electric company to bring the electricity in and stuff like that.
How long were you there before you got electricity?
What?
How long were you there before you got electricity?
Oh,
I think maybe a year and a half.
Yeah,
2 years,
a year and a half.
something like that. Yeah, about 2 and a half.
Seeing these old movies, they used to have outhouses.
Wow.
You know, when we moved to Taylor, I remember, and you know, it always amazed me. I mean, kids, we had a ball. We didn't know any better, you know. But you think about mom and dad, you know. She had a 2-burner. Kerosene burner with the old, you know, and the what do you call them, oil lamps. We had an oil lamp, and the oil took care of the cooking. And how did she keep our food cold? Ice box. The ice man came twice a week with the old ice on his, and if he was a nice guy, he'd give us all a chip of ice, you know. and then the hot water. All right, where did we get our hot water, right? All we had in that garage was a coal burner, okay? Heat the house. There was always a bucket of water on there that was our hot water. Never was it not there, you know. And dishes, we did dishes in 2 pans, soap and rinse. And Mom, think about it, had 8 kids, so 10 people she was cooking for. I don't know how she did. And Daddy, I mean, you know, he had to make the money to clothe us and everything. Sometimes we got 1 pair of shoes the beginning of school because we were poor, and we go barefooted, and we wanted to. All summer, we loved it. We could run on, you know, rocks like crazy. There was a little Indian family, Eugene, and he could, you know, run like a reindeer. I had a little crush on him. I thought, he can't beat me. I'm skinny as well, like me, you know. But I mean, and when Dad and Mom, when they wanted to sell a secret, they would talk, you probably know what I'm talking pig Latin. I don't know what it is, I forgot, but we couldn't understand it, and that was pretty smart, you know? And another thing they did, because it was just one brick room and bunk beds all around the sides, okay? And they would, at nighttime, so, you know, be dark, just a little light on from the oil lamp. Sometimes I'd turn that off and we were supposed to go to bed. But here Mom and Dad were smoking, right? So they, with their cigarette and, you know, light about the cigarette, they'd take a big drag and they were like, Norine. And we had a kid, okay, that's mine, you know, right. And you could see it. You could see the writing in the light, you know? Kept us quiet. Yeah, it was easy to keep us happy. But that was another thing they did, I'm telling you.
Okay, cool.
And Grandma comes here, I wrote a little bit about her. She was a small, thin lady, real thick glasses, right? And she had hair almost like your daughter. I mean, Clara.
Clara, yeah.
Yes, Clara, almost like yours, honey. It was so long.
It was
And she
gray, but it's long.
Yeah, gray, and she put in a big braid, and then she rolled it up and put it in a bun. And she never wanted for much. All she wanted to do was help my Mom and Dad, you know. And after a lot of years went by, Daddy built a little house. Because poor Grandma, she was at the house all day, helping us, you know. And all she wanted was to listen to radio and peace and quiet. So Dad built her a little house, and she'd go over there every night, you know. And, you know, sleep there, and then she'd come back over. And Grandma Mansell, Jane helped me. I couldn't figure out how I could remember when Grandma Mansell died. I thought I was around 3, but I wasn't, I was 5. And Grandma Mansell was around, short lady with white hair, and always, that I can remember, wore an apron. And she baked all the time. And what she did, she had little tin loaves, and she would bake, when she baked the bread, I don't even think they bought bread. I think everybody baked their own bread. And she would make a little loaves for all the kids, all the time, you know. And when she gave you a hug, she had a great smile, she gave you a hug. She'd come up to you and give you that big hug. And you know what? She smelled so good. She always smelled like flowers. And bread. You know, it was unbelievable, you know. And I remember that and then almost smell her, you know what I mean? And then she got real sick, and I was just telling my cousin, we went over there. I remember being told to sit on the couch, and Mary said she remembers being there. And we, all the aunts were crying, going in and out of Grandma's bedroom. The priest was there. And she died in 1946, Jane told me. That made sense, because I was born in 41, so that made me 5. And that's why I think I remember. You know, not because I was 3. But that's enough of me. Somebody else.